Hi, this is Siraj Unleashing Talent, and today we will talk about the power of active listening. Now, here are my top 5 ingredients of active listening. The first important thing I feel is the listening has to be intentional. And make it intentional. You have a positive intention to listen to someone, understand someone, and then start communicating with that individual. Intentionality is my first pick. The number 2 important aspect is it has to be deliberate. You have planned it. It is deliberate. So if you are going to do a performance review with your team member, you have to make a plan. You know exactly what your purpose is. It's not about just someone is talking to you and you have to listen to the person. So the first is intentionality. Second, to my understanding, is it has to be deliberate. The third important aspect of any active listening, to the best of my understanding, is it has to be focused. You have to be clear what you're going to talk and what is it that you want the other person to speak, so you understand. Remember, your objective is not to convey message. Your objective is not to speak. Your objective is to listen to the person. So it has to be very focused, to the point, in terms of what your goals are and what your objectives are. And why I'm saying that is, in the process of active listening, you might sometimes go haywire and speak all the things that may not be important if you're not focused. If you're focused, you know exactly that this discussion is going to be on these 3 points. My next pick, number 4, is the perspective and the context. So perspective is very important. You have to understand what the context is. What is it that you're going to interact with the individual? So this is absolutely important, because if you're not clear about the context, you don't know what you're going to talk. You may have certain ideas and you start talking to the individual, and in the process you lose the context. Number 5, and the last one, I think, is empathy. It means respect to the individual. To me, it means giving a space to the individual. It also means giving opportunity to the individual to talk. And how do you give that opportunity? You give that opportunity to the individual to speak by saying something like, hey, I think you have a point. Can you talk more about it? Can you elaborate? I appreciate you, or I think I value your views, and I want to listen more to what you think about it. So when you say statements like this, you create a conducive situation for the other individual to talk, and then you listen. Listening and active listening, and what we are talking now, is a very specialized way of listening. So I don't call it active listening. You can be very actively listening. You may not still be contextual. You may not still be deliberate. You may not still be intentional. You may not be empathizing. So in order to speak, you have to create situation for, let me give you an example. If you're talking to your child, what do you do to listen? A child is saying something and you're listening. You are asking certain questions. You are probing. You are helping the child to speak more and more, or you are helping your team member understand more, so that you understand the pain points, so that you understand where the individual needs support. And that's what I call the active listening. I hope I've been able to make some points here. I mean, there are a lot that you can read, study, wherever you want. You can Google, you can do YouTube. But I think my top picks will be intentionality, be deliberate, have the context very clear, empathize, and these are 4 or 5 points that are important for listening. Hope this small talk was helpful to you. I hope to see you on some other podcast. Thank you.